welcome to the Yarn and You Girl podcast. I'm Janine, also known as Yarn and You Girl, and this is my podcast where I talk to you about all the crafting, knitting, crocheting, cross-stitching, sewing, whatever I am feeling up to at the moment. So thank you so much for joining me. Today is Monday, July 1st, and I've been on vacation for a while, so I haven't done a podcast in at least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I do try to do every couple of weeks normally, but it has been a little slow this summer, and I feel like that's just the way it goes in the summertime. So I hope you all are okay with that, and I will tell you kind of all about my adventures at the end of the episode if you want to hang around and listen to that. But for now, I just have knitting and crocheting and some cross stitch to share with you. So thank you so much again for joining me. I feel like my throat's a little raspy today, so I might sound a little squeaky, so I apologize. But here we go. So I have been working on a couple different things that you guys have seen, and I've got some new things that I kind of restarted to share with you guys. I have not worked on my, what is the sweater with the baubles that I showed you guys last time. I can't remember. Oh, our Arbola sweater that was in the Lane magazine. I have not worked on any of that. I've got the whole body done on that. I just need to do the arms. I'm really stuck on the sleeve island thing. But I decided that I needed to work on the water clover top that was in the Pom Pom magazine, this spring edition, the botanical edition. I started working on water clover, which, let me see if I can get the picture up here again so I can show it to you guys. It's a beautiful crochet top that is kind of cropped. I'm hoping that it will fit. It's pretty much finished. This one, it's pretty much finished. I do need to block it, and I do need to do the oh sorry, just knocked over my drink. Don't want to spill anything. I do need to finish the weaving in the ends and all that good stuff, but I was at the hairstylist today and I was able to at least seam the shoulders. Hopefully they'll block out nice. This kind of, because it's such an open pattern, I don't know how well I did on the seaming, and I'm a little worried that the armholes aren't gonna fit. So I followed the instructions. My row gauge, though, it was a little bit shorter, so hopefully it will block out and it will fit my arms. I have not put it on because I just haven't. And the front and the back are like basically the same. So this is water clover. The author is I always forget, Catepillan, and it's pretty much done. I made size 2, the second size. I think it will be really cute. Let's try it on. Let's try it on. I haven't tried it on yet. Let's try it on and see if my arms get through the holes. I'm thinking it will grow. Oh, at least they do fit through the holes. This is gonna be like a boob shirt, if anything. Lots of ends. Well, that's not so bad. It doesn't come down very low, but right, cropped is the whole thing these days. Let's see. Sorry. Scooch back here. Yeah, hey. I think that's not so bad, guys. I just gotta stretch maybe this out a little bit. It's a little tight on the cap. Not as much on this side, but I think that's because I really did like stretch out this side quite a bit. So if I kind of stretch the lace open, I think it will be great. And I think super cute on top of a dress or over a tank top with little lace detail at the bottom or something like that. I am looking forward to wearing this. Yeah, very excited. I'm glad it fit my arm. So thanks for letting me try it on with you guys. Let's just make sure I can get it off though. Like I said, it's the chest show right now. Anyway, So I got to weave in the ends. I have to block it. They say you should pick up edging on the side of the neckline and just do like a crochet edge, kind of like I did with my Cooper Spur pullover here. So I just did a single crocheted edge around just to kind of neaten it up a bit. So I think it'll be similar to that. But yeah, very, very exciting. I worked on this a lot when we were on vacation. I got to the point where I was finally able to kind of memorize the pattern. The yarn is Hempathy by Elsabeth Lavold, and it's a silk, hemp, cotton hemp modal blend, and the color is Paris green, and I really, really like it. I have this cute little dress. I'm thinking that'll work perfect over the top of that. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. I'll show it to you guys. I'll get some official pictures and show it to you guys once it's all blocked and everything like that on my Instagram account, which is @yarnandew. And I've been a little not active on the social media stuff lately at all. I just haven't had a lot of time with work and everything else going on. It's been a little lacking on there, so I apologize, guys. I am really trying hard to stay with the podcast because I enjoy this time I spend with you guys, and I'm planning on keeping up with this, and I'm going to try harder to get stuff on my Instagram account for my finished objects, because that's really one of the ways that I keep track of the knitting and the projects that I've been doing throughout the year. It's just a good little thing. So that is pretty much done. I'm counting it as a finished object, even though it's not completely done. It's not wearable quite yet, but I am counting it as a finished object. So the next one that I have to show you guys is the second Harlequino sock. Now, you guys haven't seen these socks in a while. I did, maybe last year or the year before, I did a pair of these for my son. Originally they were supposed to be for me, but they didn't fit. So I made them for my son, and then I decided I wanted to have a pair myself. So I busted out the first sock, no problem, although lots of ends to weave in. And then just slowed to crawl and didn't even start the second sock. So I decided it was about time I started the second sock. Now, it is a big jumbly mess. The sock is knit in these diamonds that you attach, kind of provisionally cast on, and then you work one diamond off of the other diamond. So each section's a little bit different. I've done 3 full diamonds, and I'm on diamond number 4, and going to should be done with that later today. Once I get the provisional cast on and the diamond started, it goes really fast, but starting the diamond itself can be really fidgety, because you're working with provisional cast-ons. You want to make sure that you are joining it all in the round without twisting it all up, and your crochet cast-ons get a little twisted and wonky. So I'm working really hard to make sure I don't screw those up, because that's happened before. So I'm on diamond number 4, and the yarn I'm using is a Regia, an old Regia. I do not know the name of this yarn because I've lost the ball band, and like it was 2 years ago. I probably have it on an episode a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, because like who's gonna go back and look at all those episodes? But anyway, that is the Harlequino socks, and the designer for that one is Margreet Vonkemann. So I got a little bit of that done, and I'm excited because I really wanted to make sure that I was working on that. I'm gonna go grab a glass of water because my throat feels a little scratchy, and I'll be right back. Okay, I totally forgot that I actually had something to drink right next to me. I got a little sidetracked there. Okay, so this is going to be a totally wonky episode, and I apologize for that right now because I'm a little not in the groove with things. So I'm going to use this episode as a chance to get kind of back into the flow of the podcasting. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. Okay, so the Harlequino socks, which I showed you the completed one. This one, you can see the diamond constructions. They work like this. And then you do, you know, a diamond attached to this edge, a diamond attached to this edge, another diamond here and here. And then you grab each of those diamonds in the back, and then you make this big diamond out for your heel. So it's a really interesting construction. Very, very cool and enjoyable, especially if you have multicolored yarn like this, self-patterning yarn like the Regia, or maybe a striped yarn. You can get different stripe color, like if you have a multi-striped color yarn, you can get different styles of stripings happening in your diamonds. Excuse me, now I have the hiccups. Awesome. So I like them. They fit really nice actually too, which I didn't think would be the case. I was a little concerned, but you do have, I mean, your gauge is really, really important with this one. So it needs to be, because it's not made like a traditional sock, there's only specific areas where it can be enlarged. And so your gauge has to be pretty much spot on hers, which of course I didn't row gauge or test, or I didn't do a gauge swatch for mine. I just went ahead and did it. And the first one that ended up too small was not because the gauge was off, but it was because there's a point here where you can extend the foot when you pick up for the toe. And I didn't do enough extra rows before I started doing the toe decrease. So that's why the ones for my son didn't work out as well as I had wanted them to. But at this point, they'll probably fit me. His feet have grown pretty large, and if I wash them real well, they're still good socks. I could wear them. And they've probably been stretched out a bit. So, you know, reuse, pass down. I'll totally take them. I'll take them back. They were good little socks. So those are the two main ones I was working on vacation. I did bring my pattern that I'm working on for the Fibre company. So this is the design submission that I did for the Fibre company's autumn and winter. So autumn 19 and winter 2020, like yarn support, pattern release, kind of whatever you want to call it. And I had submitted the design for a fingerless glove pair, and they liked my design, so they sent me some yarn. And the yarn that they sent me is Road to China Light, and the color is this beautiful teal, and it's Apatite, but not spelled like your appetite, like you're hungry, that kind of appetite. It's spelled A-P-A-T-I-T-E, something like that. I think it must be a stone or raw jewel or something like that, because most of their colors are like rhodolite, topaz, amethyst, those types of things, and they're all based on like fine jewels or rocks. So this is the start of the first mitt in the Apatite, and you guys saw it last time. Let me see if I have it here. Really, where did I put it? I had done one, like a test run in this gray that I had, and this was River Dolphin in the Road to China Light. And so then this is the one that I'm doing. I went up a needle size. I'm working on the thumb gusset here. I went up a needle size, so I did a 2 instead of a 1 here. And I am also doing this on a 9-inch circular. So I was telling you guys I was having trouble with the stitches on the side which they don't show up as much on here, but you can definitely see where I've got these bigger stitches. I don't ever have a problem with that when I am working in the round with knit stitches starting, but for whatever reason, I can't seem to get my purl stitches to be really tight. I did follow a tutorial to kind of see if that worked. It was okay. I don't think it did I don't think it made a big difference at all with my actual way that I knit. So what I decided to do was to work it on a 9-inch circulars. Now, I don't like 9-inch circulars. I don't like them. I have a hard time. My hands get kind of crampy. So they're not my favorite, but they really do a great job, obviously. I have no laddering problems at all. Now, I had started down here with the magic loop, and you can see there's like a little bit, it's not very noticeable, but a little bit of gapping and laddering there. And it's way better once I switch to the 9-inch circular. So that's kind of my suggestion if you're working something in the round with purling stitches. I think if you can minimize the amount of needle change, that's going to make a huge difference. Now, blocking did take out some of those loose stitches on the side, but I don't know how much it really would have. I don't think it took out all of it, and I kind of get bugged when I see those. So the 9-inch was the best way to go. And since I'm not working, I have done a pair of socks in 9-inch circulars before, and since I'm not working a heel or a toe, it's actually quite nice with the just working a straight tube, because I don't have to switch out needles so that I can get, you know, feel like I can actually do like the heel flap or the toe decreases and things like that. The 9-inch was a little hard for me to do that when I was doing the socks. But this is actually quite nice. So if you like to do afterthoughts or just make tubes, you know, and cut and do afterthought heels and afterthought toes, the circular is like a really good way of doing that. And my hands are getting used to it. I am not having as much trouble. They don't bother me as much, and that could be because I'm not knitting as much as I was either, but I am finding it less irritating than it originally was when I first started. So these are ChowGoo US 9s, US size 2, which I think is a 2.5 millimeter. Oh no, it's probably a 2.75. Let's see if it says on here. Because I think a 1 is a 2.25, and then a 1.5 is probably the 2.5. Yeah, I think these are 2.75 millimeter needles, and it's going really well. So this is going to be the right glove, and then the left glove will be mirrored. I am going to be needing test knitters. I've got a few people that have showed some interest, so if you are interested in doing test knit for me for this pair of fingerless mitts, please message me on either Instagram or Ravelry. My Ravelry is yarnandewegirl, or even here in the comment section of the YouTube video. That would be awesome, and just let me know if you're interested. There will be some strict deadlines and you know, requirements for making sure that you do it, but the Fibre company said that test knitters will, if they contact them directly, and I'll have information for that they will get some percentage discount off the yarn if they wanted to use their yarn for you know, doing the gloves. So very, very exciting. It's cool. Definitely good progress on that. And then the last thing, I have two more things actually. I needed something that was a little bit easier to not have to think about, because obviously I was doing this crochet thing that I had to really pay attention, and the Harlequino socks are very, you know, they're hard to just be on the go. So I had to do something else. So I took some yarn from my stash, which was some Yarn and You alternative sock in the Mintastic colorway. This was stuff I was using for my shoo-shooey shrug that I ripped out because I decided it wasn't going to work for me. I wasn't going to wear it, and I wasn't working on it. So I decided I'd just make a pair of socks with these. So I'm just using two 24-inch Addies, US size 1. Addies are, I think their sizing's a little bit different than the Chow-Goo. I like their one size is more like a 1.5 in the Chow-Goo is what I feel like. So a little bit thicker. These ones have been worked in a lot, and they've got lots of bends and stuff in the needles. And they're really good for me, some good sock knitting needles, especially when my Chow-Goos are being taken up by something else. And the one US 1 Chow-Goo set that I have that I'm working the Harlequino socks on, my husband sucked them up in the vacuum cleaner. Yeah. And I've got like, you know, divots, and they're totally messed up, like that one, and then this one has like a big old kink in it. And so, you know, I need to get a new pair of these. But for now, I have plenty of US 1s in 24s, so I'll just use those because I don't really need another pair. But these are just a pattern sock that I was working on for design as well. Just something that's a little bit easier, but still has a good amount of detail. And I really like the way these are coming out in the mint color. So that'll be another pattern that I'm working on for just a pair of socks coming out sometime. I'm definitely focusing on the fingerless mitts more in the pattern department right now. So I told you guys I applied for Brooklyn Tweeds, what is it, Woolfolk number 14, I think, that comes out next year. And I didn't get picked, so it was kind of sad. But it's okay because I'm still going to make the sweater. The design that I had in mind, I'm still going to make the sweater. And I will share it with all of you, and I will still publish it on Ravelry. I know I'm not the quickest to publish my patterns, but I love doing the design stuff, and so things will get out there eventually. But right now, the fingerless mitts are top on the priority list, and then I'm still working on writing up the pattern for the turtleneck sweater. So I'll let you guys know how that goes as well. I have done a little bit more of my Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery cross stitch, and I know I showed you guys some of it, but I don't think I'm working on these cockatiels. I think that's what these are down here. And so I'm not quite done. I just have a little bit more of green to go, and then I have one more square or rectangle or whatever in this section, and then I just have border to do. So it's coming along. This is, I was talking about my eyes last time, and I think I figured out the problem. It's not necessarily, I mean, when I wear my contact lenses, my doctor had set up, I have astigmatism supposedly in both eyes. The left eye really bad, and for a while the right eye didn't have one. It was fine. And so I was wearing like a spherical shaped contact in the right eye and a astigmatism contact in the left eye. That was working amazing. I never had any trouble with seeing fine detail. And then for whatever reason, my eye doctor switched the right eye to a astigmatism contact. And ever since she did that is when I have trouble with the up close thing. So it could be my age, which I talked a little bit about last time. Totally, if that's what it is, no big deal. But I found an old spherical contact for the right eye that was still in a box, and I put that in, and I can see just fine. And so I called my eye doctor, and I was like, okay, I don't want these astigmatism ones anymore. Can you please just order me some spherical ones for my right eye? So she is going to do that, and that way I will have less problems. But because I was finding I was making really big mistakes in the cross stitch, unless I was wearing my glasses. And so a lot of times I would get up in the morning and put my glasses on, and then I could work some cross stitch for a while. But if I went to put my contacts in and I tried to do something, I couldn't see. Everything was very blurry when I tried to look at the fine details of things. And it's very fine. The linen, it's hard to see the little holes anyway. So that's going to be something that I'll be able to kind of adjust to now that I have contacts that actually work for my eyes. And let's see if there's anything else. This is a really, really short episode. And again, I apologize that it is so short, but I don't have any more knitting or crocheting to talk about. I didn't do any sewing. I still want to work on that bag. But again, I kind of lost, I had to put everything away because I was working, and I don't have a surface to have my sewing machine on anymore. So I have to pull it out every time I need to use it, and then it's on the kitchen table, and then, you know, it gets in the way of actually like eating. In this room, I used to have, it was my dining room. It's no longer a dining room, but I used to have a table in here. So my husband and I are planning on putting together like a desk in here, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And so anytime the sewing machine comes out, it has to go, it can stay out maybe for a day or two, but then it has to get put away. So I try to manage it and do it on times that I know I'm going to have a significant chunk of time to work on that project. I still am madly interested in making it, and I'm going to be focusing on that. So you guys will see that little day phone or cell phone, day tripper wallet or whatever it was called, and more bags and stuff as well. So that's all the knitting content, fiber content. I didn't buy any yarn lately. I haven't gone to any yarn stores either because, well, even when we were on vacation, which usually I try to make stops at some of the yarn stores in the area, we didn't have time to do any of that, and it was way too hot down there to really think about knitting a lot. So we went to Palm Desert in California, so Southern California, stayed at a timeshare for a couple days, and the weather was like over 100 degrees every single day. I think I did a pretty good job not getting sunburnt. I put on a lot of sunscreen and I wear a hat and all that stuff. But so basically we were just like laying out under the umbrellas, jumping in the pool when we got too hot. And on a couple days we did some outings. So one day we went to Joshua Tree National Park, which was beautiful, stark, rock formations, weird trees and cacti, and really fun little hikes. So we did a couple hikes while we were in there that day and went to the visitor center, which is pretty small, but I found a really cute, cool hat, cool baseball cap, so that was good. And we did that one day, and we spent a couple days at the resort, and the plan was originally to get to the resort on Thursday, leave early Wednesday, and drive home. It takes 2 days to drive. I mean, you can do it in one if you want to drive like 18 hours, but I didn't want to drive 18 hours, and my husband didn't want to drive 18 hours. So we did it in 2 days. So the first night, so it took us 2 days to get there, driving down. The first night we stayed in Stockton, California at a hotel that had a nice like outdoor swimming pool. The hotel itself was really beautiful. The surrounding area, a little sketchy, but we found some really yummy Greek food to eat, and kind of hung out in the pool, and they had like pool tables outside and ping pong tables in their little courtyard area. It was great, and we had a really good time. And then we're looking at the map, and we're thinking we're really close to Yosemite National Park here. I mean, it's about 2 hours east. We were thinking maybe we'll go and hit it on the way down to Palm Desert. But if you've ever been to Yosemite, it's a big park, and you really need more than just like a couple hours to see it. So we said, no, we'll just drive down to Palm Desert, and we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll hit it on the way back up. Maybe we'll take an extra day and hit it on the way back up. So that's actually what we did. Originally, we were going to leave Wednesday morning and drive back and get back Thursday afternoon. So instead, we got up really early Tuesday morning, drove into Yosemite to Glacier Point, which is 7,200 feet above sea level, the point. And then it shows you a view that's 3,200 feet to the ground. So it's a huge, you're up super duper high, and it's an amazing, glorious view, a little exhilarating, scary. Definitely the road getting up there. There was one point, so I drove the road getting up there. My husband does a lot of the long journey stuff, and I tend to do some of the traffic stuff and the stuff that is more stressful for him. So this last bit of road was like 16 miles of tight turns and like just crazy cliffs and stuff. And so one point I'm driving toward what looks like the end of the world, and you could do this like hairpin turn. You have to be going like 5 miles an hour, but there's literally no barricade on the side of the road, and it's just this, you're driving down and there's nothing. And I was just panicking and like, no, don't, just look at the road, look at the road, look at the road, take it really, really slow, turn it around, you know. And oh my gosh, it would have made, yeah, it would have made my mom have a complete heart attack. It reminded me so much of when we were growing up. We go to places, she always had a fear of heights, and we would go to places, and my dad would be driving up this like windy, crazy road, and there'd be no, you know, there'd be this huge drop off, and he would make jokes like, oh, look at the little pretty flower on the side of the road. And she'd be like, Thomas, look at the road, look at the road, you know, like just totally freaking out. So it really brought back some funny memories, and but it was gorgeous up there. So we spent Tuesday afternoon in that area of the park, and then got up, drove out, stayed in Merced, California, which is about 2 hours west of the west entrance of Yosemite, and then got up very, very early the next morning and drove into Yosemite and got to see the sunrise over El Capitan, which is a giant granite rock formation in the valley of the park. So we spent the second day, Wednesday, all down in the valley where all the waterfalls are, and a lot of nice hikes and rock formations and things like that. And so we did some hikes to waterfalls. We, you know, wandered around, did the visitor center again, you know, sat down, watched a couple little videos. You know how they do it in the national parks. They've got like 20-minute, 10-minute little videos about something or other, always kind of playing about interesting things about the park. And so we did that and spent most of the day there. It was so amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to Yosemite, I highly recommend it. I felt like I was in Disneyland. I was giddy. I was so moved by the scenery and just the views. It was breathtaking. So I recommend going if you have an opportunity. It's been something that's been on my bucket list for a while, and multiple times we've driven down to California or through California and talked about going, but never have gone. I was a little nervous about bears. I'll just be honest. I have heard too many stories of Yosemite and bears breaking into cars and your tents and stuff like that. So I've been always nervous about camping down there in like a tent, or we have a tent trailer, and I've been nervous about camping in the tent trailer because, you know, at night they come out, you're supposed to put all your food in the bear boxes, and anything that has any kind of a smell, even like toothpaste and toiletries and stuff, that bears try to get at. And so part of me was always a little scared that the bears would try to like get into our camper at night or whatever. So this was better. It was good. There were definitely rules with how you could manage your food while you were in the park. You had to have it on you. You had to have it no more, like if you were sitting down and eating at a picnic, you needed to be aware of where your food was. It needed to be within arm's reach. If you were leaving food in your car during the daytime, they asked that you cover it up with something so the bears can't see it, and the windows have to be all the way up because bears are strong and they can rip the doors off of cars. So in the morning when we parked our car and went on our hikes and stuff, and then we just took shuttles around the park for the rest of the day, I was a little concerned that we would come back to the car and the like tailgate would be ripped off and all our food would be like strewn around the parking lot and stuff. But it didn't happen. It was fine. It was such a good trip. And there's some amazing hikes and beautiful, beautiful scenery there. So if you're into that stuff and you're interested, you should definitely make it worth your while. So then we drove home on Thursday, and I took Friday to kind of get things organized around the house a little bit. It's still a little bit of a mess. And then I worked all the weekend, so today's been my first day off since I got off vacation. And I still have a lot of stuff to do around the house, but I wanted to spend some time with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know it's a short one. Hopefully I'll have a little more content for you guys next time. Thanks again so much for watching, and we'll see you then. Bye.